Hey, it's me again, Steve from YourCreativeLife.com, concluding this series about watching TV like a pro and how simply by watching TV with a different mindset, you can improve your own spec scripts and original pilots and probably almost anything you write. Today, our thought for the day is really about locations. And this is one of my favorite things to think about and talk about because I was completely unaware of this before I entered the TV industry. It's really about how locations can tell you something about the hidden math of the show that you're working on, writing, or creating. So, what do I mean by this? Here's what I mean. Every show out there, every show, every production has a line producer, and the line producer really is the person who handles all of the finances. That's the person who has the spreadsheet that says what's going on in terms of the financial health and the way this particular show will spend its money. Now, you might be yawning and go, oh, money, well, who gives a crap about that? But the truth is, TV people do, and here's why. Television is an incredibly expensive medium. You know, many shows today cost $7 million an episode. You've got a ton of people you're hiring, from crew to actors to writers to, costumers and technicians and props people, all of that stuff. And those people's salaries and what you do in a particular episode, they all affect the bottom line. So every show that I've ever been on and every show that exists has a hidden math behind it, right? About how much an episode should cost on this particular show, about who gets paid what, about, how many guest stars can you bring in, how many explosions, how many props, how many whatever, right? And all of that is pretty granular, but one of the ones that I think is most interesting and most useful to you as somebody who's writing television or wants to write for TV is an awareness about the math of locations. Here's what I mean by this. If you imagine, every show has what we call standing sets. And standing sets are the kind of, a location, a space that a show will use over and over again. So this is actually a room that I'm in. This is really my office. But if this were a show, this would be a standing set that we would use over and over and over again, and therefore save money because we don't have to rebuild this set. We just simply set up our cameras and shoot in this space. And every show has that. So you're going to notice as you watch shows from now on, which are the standing sets? Are they in the hospital all the time? Are they at the diner all the time? Are they in the OR all the time? Are they in the courtroom all the time? Chances are those are standing sets, not real buildings, but spaces that they built for the show. And that goes to the financial viability of having those kinds of indoor sets. When you go outside, you're more often than not, going on location. You actually have to find it. A location manager has to find this I don't know what it is, this creek, this riverbed, this beach, this street in New York or LA or Atlanta or whatever. Like, those things are not in every episode. And the hidden math is that for every show, there's a formula. We are in for 3 days, we are out for 3 days. We're in for, if we're shooting for 7 days, maybe it's like we can only be out for 2 days and we're in for So what you want to do is, as you watch TV and as you build scripts that mirror what TV does, and you find a bullseye show you say, my show is like X. You're going to watch that show and figure out for yourself. You won't really know how many days they spent outside or how many days they spent on the studio, but you can certainly count the scenes. And you can say, in this kind of show, there are this many scenes that are outdoors. In this kind of show, there are this many scenes that are indoors that seem to be on standing sets. And then as you build your episode, as you build your pilot, you can do something that seems reasonable to somebody who's in the industry, where they would read it. And not only are they entranced and they love the drama and the characters and all that stuff that you definitely want to put in there, but they also recognize the formula. They recognize the viability of what you're creating because you're doing it from a sense of a deeper learning and a deeper understanding of how the industry works than you might have before you noticed that notion about locations and how they work in TV. So take that with you, put it in your scripts. If you have any questions, make note below this video. Thanks for watching. I've had a lot of fun doing this series, and I'm wishing you well on your own creative journeys, whatever you're writing. And I will see you next time.